Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Let's open this time with a prayer of gratitude. So just close your eyes and feel your heart beating and feel the presence. We are in the midst of a mighty presence that holds us all in grace and light. A freedom of a new opening has come to us. We have this opportunity to be together in this beautiful, beautiful temple, the synagogue. We say thank you, thank you. Thank you for all of those that have come this morning and all of those that are with us on Zoom. And in our hearts, we just feel that gratitude and that sense of loving, that there's a whole lot of loving going on here today. We just feel that gentle smile and that sense of excitement as we open our day today at Unity on the River, and so it is.
Welcome, everybody. I'm Mickey Lucia. I don't know if you remember me from a few years back. Has it been, about 15, 20 years now, I think? No, it hasn't been that long. Great to see everybody here. Great to see everybody on Zoom. What do we have, about 600 here? Way in the back. You up there in the stands, thank you for coming. Thank you, Channel 5, for being here. I know it's historic. Thank you. See what you're missing? You got to come live. All right, so welcome, everybody. It's great to be here. I will be helping out today with our service, just with announcements and such, but I wanted to welcome you today, and I hope you enjoy the service.
Thank you, Mickey. Let's give Mickey a big hand. One more time. Here we go. Come on in, there's a whole lot of loving going on. Lot of loving, whole lot of loving. Come on in, there's a whole lot of loving going on. Lot of loving, whole lot of loving. We got the power, we got the grace. In love together we'll sing our praise. Come on in, there's a whole lot of healing going on. Lot of healing, whole lot of healing. Come on in, there's a whole lot of healing going on. Lot of healing, whole lot of healing. We got the power, we got the grace. In love together we'll sing our praise. Come on in, there's a whole lot of dancing going on. Lot of dancing, whole lot of dancing. Come on in, there's a whole lot of dancing going on. Lot of dancing, whole lot of dancing. We got the power, we got the grace. In love together we'll sing God's praise. Come on in, there's a whole lot of singing going on. Lot of singing, whole lot of singing. Come on in, there's a whole lot of singing going on. Lot of singing, whole lot of singing. We got the power, we got the grace. In love together we'll sing God's praise. Come on in, there's a whole lot of everything going on. Come on, Keith. A whole lot of praising going on, a lot of praising, a whole lot of praying. Come on in, there's a whole lot of praising going on, a lot of praying, whole lot of praying. We got the power, we got the grace. In love together we'll sing God's praise. we've been getting ourselves together here, figuring out all the technical ins and outs of being in a new place together. Yeah.
Yeah, we've had to marry some of our equipment with some of the synagogues, and they have some really nice stuff, actually. They have a little robotic camera back there that Mickey was pointing to. And yeah, we're making it work. Anyone have a pick?
I do.
Just kidding. I got one. Mine had my picture on it, so it's...
It's beautiful to see some old new faces coming in every week. There's more of us coming back. It's so exciting. Hi, Michael.
The little guys here, both of them. All right, guys, take it away. Love is but a song we sing, fears the way we die. You can make the mountains ring, make the angels cry. Though the bird is on the wing, you may not know why. Come on, people now, smile on each other, everybody get together, try to love one another right now. Some may come and some may go, we shall surely pass. When the one that left us here returns for us at last, we are but a moment's sunlight fading on the grass. Come on, people now, smile on each other, everybody get together, try to love one another right now. Come on, people now, smile on each other, everybody get together, try to love one another right now. If you hear the song I sing, you will understand. Hold the key to love and fear right in the palm of your hand. Just one key unlocks them both. It's there at your command. All together now. Come on, people now. Smile on your brother, everybody get together. Try to love one another right now. Come on, people now. Smile on your brother, everybody get together. Try to love one another.
Well, just if we could all stand and join hands if you are able, if you feel comfortable, if not, elbows or any way energetically, and we will sing Surely the Presence. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel God's mighty power and God's grace. There's a holy hush around us. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel God's mighty power and God's grace. There's a holy hush around us. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place.
Okay. Today we have a great service for you, obviously. We always have a great service for you. We have, direct from Zoomland, Cyndi Swall. Now, we all know Cyndi. There she is. Hi, Cyndi. Can you hear me? Okay. So I hear you're going to be live in a few months. That's wonderful to hear.
I am, October.
We've got some fantastic people lined up, just so you know. Tell your friends. Before I do that today, I forgot to do one thing. Can we all turn around and say hi to everybody in Zoomland? Hi, everybody in Zoomland. Come on down. Yes, ma'am. Oh, hey, let's do something too. Let's turn to each other. Turn to your right or your left if you have nobody on your right. And let's say, God looks good on you today. Did I say that right? Or is it God looks good today? I don't know, something like that. Zoomland, God looks good today. So Cyndi, a lot of us know Cyndi, some people may not. Cyndi is a lifelong New Thought student. She's a teacher. She's no stranger to Unity on the River. She's a highly requested speaker, facilitator throughout the New Thought movement for her insightful application of the principles and lighthearted approach to life. A seasoned and credible executive consultant, Cyndi also runs a spirited life coaching business focused on the needs and lifestyles of women and facilitates Bliss Camp transformational retreats across the globe. She also brings us a wealth of experiences and best practices from hundreds of ministries and enlightened leaders. Cyndi is just a gift. So let's all welcome Cyndi Swall.
Hey, I so wish I could be there with you in person. As Mickey mentioned, I'll be there in October and I cannot wait. I'm actually in Montana right now in an Airbnb, visiting my daughter. So that's exciting for me too, but I'm just thrilled to be with you guys. It was so fun to actually be able to see you all in one location. That just makes me so happy. I'm thinking about, when I started trying to figure out what I was going to talk about this Sunday, the obvious thing that came up, obviously last weekend, July being the month of Independence Day, 4th of July, whatever, to really be thinking about the whole concept of freedom comes up for us. This may sound familiar. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. They are endowed by the Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among them are life, liberty, in the pursuit of happiness. Now, you may recognize these words from the original Declaration of Independence, but never in the history of the United States has this concept of freedom been more challenged and questioned than over the past year and a half. And I'm not talking about vaccines and quarantines and mask wearing. I'm mostly alluding to the cultural toll, right? On a more intimate level, even the personal weight that most of us have been hauling around, that makes it really difficult for us to breathe, certainly to exhale over the past few months. And the primary goal, really, for most of us, is really just to learn to exhale. As a coach, I will tell you, for the majority of my career, people would come to me trying to up-level their life in some way. And over the course of the last 6 months or so, people are just looking for opportunities to find some element of relief. So we're feeling the winds of change right now. I think we're seeing it in the fact that you're all in one location. And we have the opportunity to start taking back control of our day-to-day experience and create our own relief. I had a thought the other day as I pondered the flat out weirdness of all of this that's going on. And in a new thought background, I couldn't help but kind of recognize or notice the analogy between our collective reality and the hero's journey. So in the beginning, when you think about the hero's journey, in the very beginning, the hero or the heroine of their story, they're having like normalcy, they're going on about their lives, and you throw something at them that's a great source of conflict. It takes them into a whole heap of trouble. And then after facing all these woes and obstacles and everything that goes on for them, the hero saves the day, wins the girl, whatever, right? So every story has a beginning and a middle and an end. And while metaphysically we know that there really never is an end, our lives are a series of short stories while we're in our physical bodies, just one short story after another. And the story of 2020 and 2021, as it's nearing its closure, what we notice is that here's what I want you to do. I want you just to follow with me through the hero's journey, through the evolution of kind of what's happened to us and how we choose to ultimately triumph in the end, if you will. Now, I have a slide actually that I want to show to you, because if you're not familiar with the hero's journey, I'm going to share my screen really quickly and show you this slide. So take a look at this. This is the hero's journey, originally written by Joseph Campbell. And this is basically he says that every story, every movie, every book, everything has actually kind of walked us through this hero's journey. So you see that it falls into 3 acts. So those of you who are in theater, I know some of you will recognize this very, very clearly. In the first act is where he's basically in ordinary world. And I'll take you through each one of these stages from the call to adventure to kind of refusing that it's the reality of it, finally meeting with a mentor and crossing into that threshold where they actually move into the ordeal. And then at the very end, what it takes when the hero starts to make their way back, right? The resurrection, what they bring back to them, the rewards, things like that. So you're going to recognize this when I walk you through this as it relates to what we're going through right now. So I'm going to go ahead and unshare my screen so I can talk to you. Fabulous, thank you. So this is just a refresher to clarify if you're unfamiliar with the concept. Joseph Campbell basically drafted the most common version of this, the one that you see. And if you think about it, you can track this outline through just about every fiction book you've ever read or every movie you've ever seen. So the hero's journey is this. Let's start with Act 1. Act 1, remember, starts with ordinary world. This is where the hero exists, right? The adventure come, like he doesn't know what's going to happen. This is where we find out crucial details about our character, about the hero, his true nature, his capabilities, his outlook on life. And this anchors the hero as a human, just like you and me. It makes it easier for us to identify with him, and hence later to be able to empathize. This was us sleepwalking through life in 2019. We were busy. We're out and about, making our own lives work. We had goals to meet. We had meetings to attend. We had mortgages to pay. And all the while, the phone is pinging and the laptop is ringing. And, when we get home, we've got Amazon and Netflix to make us feel good enough to just get up the next day and do it all over again. We were sleep deprived and undernourished and flat out exhausted. But it was the devil we knew, right? So we were okay. But then came our call to adventure. And our call to adventure, this is where it starts to get interesting, right? Remember, the hero's adventure begins where he receives this call to action, like where there's like a direct threat to his safety or to the safety of his family or his loved ones, his way of life, or the peace in his community, things like that. So it may not be as dramatic as a gunshot. It could have simply been a phone call or a conversation or something. But whatever the call is and however it manifests itself, it ultimately disrupts the comfort of the hero's ordinary world. It presents a challenge or a quest, if you will, that needs to be undertaken. I mean, do I really need to make the analogy here? I mean, I think we can all pretty much list the obstacles that threaten the safety of our loved ones. And whether you believe it's real or you believe it's imagined or you believe it's conspiracy theory, it doesn't really matter, because you can't deny that this pandemic and the political unrest associated with it turned our literal world upside down. And we knew that something had to be done to maintain our personal safety or to maintain our sanity. So from here, we move into the refusal of the call. And although the hero may be eager to accept the quest, at this stage, he'll start to kind of fear that whatever needs to be overcoming, maybe he's having second thoughts or deep personal doubts as to whether he's up to the challenge. When this happens, the hero is going to refuse the call, or he's going to suffer some kind of consequence or result. But the problem he faces, it might seem too big for him to get his head around, and the comfort of home may be far more attractive than actually venturing out on this quest. So that would be our own response, and once again, helped us kind of bond with this hero, because we kind of might be reluctant as we move through some of those things as well. So for several months, the majority of the population has been paralyzed by fear. Not just the fear of our health, but also the possibility of job or income loss, as well as terrifying isolation for some people. We've felt helpless in the face of this kind of unknown terrorist. And so as a general rule, we just hold ourselves up into our homes. So while we're sitting there protected in our little cocoon, this is where the hero will be meeting the mentor. And at this crucial turning point is where the hero desperately needs some guidance, because he doesn't know what to do. So usually he'll meet a mentor figure that gives him something that he needs. Maybe it's an object of great importance, or might be an insight into a dilemma that he faces, or practical training, or something that builds his self-confidence. So whatever the mentor provides the hero, it serves to kind of dispel his doubts and his fears and concerns that he has, and it gives him strength to go ahead and be courageous enough to make the leap. Now, the mentor in our story, it could be a person. More likely, this is a metaphor for the decision to educate ourselves or to take precautions. Running out of external options, we've chosen to go within, some of us, and maybe tap into our non-physical support system. But hopefully we've had the opportunity to do that. But for some of us, we've been really consumed with the external stimuli, and that's made a big difference for us as it relates to the hesitation. In Jerry Jampolsky's book, if you've read it, Love is Letting Go of Fear, Jerry reminds us that love and fear can never reside in the same space at the same time. And so with that knowledge, the hero moves into the second act. And in Act 2 is where he crosses the threshold into what's about to become the ordeal. The hero is now ready to act upon his call to adventure, truly begin his quest, whether it be physical, spiritual, or emotional. And he might go willingly, or he might have to be pushed. But either way, he finally crosses the threshold between the world that he's familiar with and that which he is not at all familiar with. So it may be that leaving home for the first time for him in his life, or it could just be doing something that he's always been really scared to do. However the threshold presents itself, the action signifies the hero's commitment to the journey and whatever may be in store for him. And we can learn this from the mother eagle and how she teaches her babies to fly. So I'm not sure if you're familiar. First of all, eagles perch very, very high, usually on a cliff of some kind. And so it's a pretty terrifying concept for the baby eaglet who has never flown before to just fling its body off of a cliff. And the mother eagle knows this. So what she does is when she's actually building her nest, before she lays her eggs, she will actually form the framework of the nest with really uncomfortable things like thorns and bristle and thicket and glass or whatever she can get a hold of. And then she'll pad something to soften it on top of that to keep the eggs safe. Well, once those eggs hatch and the baby eaglets are born, as they start to grow and get a little too big for the nest, if they're not showing any indication that they're going to fly off in any way, the mother eagle will literally start pulling little pieces of padding out of the nest to where at some juncture it becomes more uncomfortable to be in the nest than the risk of just flinging your body over a cliff. Now, eventually the pain of staying in the nest gets really, really uncomfortable. So while that may sound a little bit sadistic to you, what the mama eagle knows is that if those babies stay in the nest, they're going to die there. So once we realize, when you think about it, once we realize the problem that we've had is not going to go away, then we had to start looking at what some other options might be. And we're forced to figure out new ways to do things. I mean, think about like what was happening with Unity on the River as it related to the technology. You had to figure out new ways to bring your congregation together. So you started figuring out technologically ways that you could still continue to serve your community, just not in the same way. So you get creative and when you're crossing the threshold. And then the sixth phase of the concept of the hero's journey is where they start to get certain tests, or they meet allies or enemies even. So now that he's finally out of his comfort zone, he's confronted with even more difficult things, like series of challenges that test him in a variety of ways. Obstacles are thrown in his path, whether they're physical hurdles or people trying to thwart his progress. The hero must overcome each challenge one at a time as he's presented with it on the journey towards the ultimate goal. And let's face it, this last year and a half has been like being thrown into a 3D Super Mario game, right? Don't you feel that way? Like we spend our days like dodging judgment or jumping over these minefields and reaching for some sort of relief. It seems that no matter what our stance is on any of the topics at hand, there was always a firing squad of people trying to basically shame us for our decisions and our beliefs. And so we learned to like get really defensive during this period of time. And the hero needs to find out here who can be trusted and who can't. And what I'm talking about is not necessarily people. I'm talking about the social media. I'm talking about news. He may earn allies during this time. He might meet some enemies, but each in their own way help prepare him for the greater ordeals that are about to come. So, this is a stage where his skills and or his powers are really going to be tested. Every obstacle that he faces helps us gain a deeper insight into his character and ultimately help us identify with him more. So he's becoming more human for us here. Now, truly, sometimes our naysayers and our adversaries have been our greatest teachers, especially of late. They taught us to follow our own instincts and to learn to trust our own inner guidance. Because if we were being pulled in every direction from everybody who had an opinion, and sometimes we were, it's not only exhausting, it's confusing. And we don't know where to go with that. So this takes our hero to number 7, which is the approach to the inmost cave. And this is exactly what it sounds like it is. The inmost cave may represent a lot of things here. So here's a story. In this particular story, it could be an actual location in which there's some kind of terrible danger. It could be an inner conflict of some kind, which up until now, the hero's not had to face. And as the hero approaches the cave, he's got to make some final preparations before he actually takes the leap into this great unknown. So at the threshold of the inmost cave, the hero's got to once again face his doubts and fears, things that are starting to surface for him during his call to adventure. And he may need some time to reflect. This is the pause part, right? The pause upon his journey. And I talked about this the last time we were together, about this whole great pause and how if we come out the other end the same person as when we went in, we will have missed the sacred opportunity to take this time to pause, to reflect. And as the threshold to the inmost cave, the energy of the hero right now actually is they really have to stop and be able to go, okay, what do I need to reflect on? What do I need to know that I didn't know before? This brief respite kind of helps the audience understand the magnitude of the ordeal he's about to go through. And the hero kind of is the ordeal that awaits the hero is starting to escalate. So the tension mounts here, the anticipation is great. And here's where he starts to go through the ultimate test. This is the phase in our story where we begin to understand that our world will never again look the way it looked before. It won't ever be the same again. And this is not a bad thing, right? There's no going back to normal. And maybe we grieved here for a little bit of the time about the way things used to be. And I know that happened a lot when the building was sold. It's like there has to be a grieving process for, the letting go of what was before. And to a certain degree, you still might be kind of sitting with your thoughts and ideas and just wondering what's next for you. I think most of us are. So now we move into the ordeal itself. The supreme ordeal might be a dangerous physical test or a demon or a deep inner crisis that the hero must face in order for them to be able to survive or for the world in which they live in to continue to exist, right? Your community as a whole. So whether it be facing the greatest fear or the most deadly foe, here we must draw upon our skills and experience and all the things that the hero has gathered during the path on this adventure, right? And during the path to the inmost cave in order to really start overcoming these most difficult challenges. So when you think about it, only through some sort of death can we really be reborn. And the hero knows this, and maybe we're talking about experiencing a metaphorical resurrection here that somehow grants him some greater power or insight necessary to fulfill his destiny or reach his journey's end. So this is the high point of the hero's journey. This is where everything he holds dear is being put on the line. Everything, his way of life, the people he loves, his personal safety. And if he fails, he'll either die or life as he know it will never be the same again. So coming to a place of ultimate acceptance. But the first step is really the first step to finding our way home. I mean, we have to be able to say the whole point of really identifying what is, conquering our demons, learning to love what is. I'm not saying learn to be consensual in that process, but to recognize this is how things are right now and to quit fighting against our adversaries, whether they're people or beliefs or cultural shifts, is one of the toughest challenges that we face in this lifetime. And there's a line in one of my favorite Don Henley songs that basically says it perfectly. And the song is My Thanksgiving. And the line goes like this: have you ever noticed that an angry man can only get so far until he reconciles the way he thinks things ought to be with the way things are? Now let's move into the reward phase, right? This is the seizing of the sword for our hero. So after defeating the enemy, surviving death, finally overcoming his greatest personal challenges, the hero is ultimately transformed into a new state of some kind. This is our new normal, whatever we decide that's going to be. Emerging from battle as a stronger person and often with a prize of some kind. The reward may come in the form of an object of great importance or power. It could be a secret that he didn't know before. Greater insight, maybe even a reconciliation with a loved one or an ally. But whatever the treasure, which may well facilitate his return back to his ordinary world, the hero must quickly put celebrating on the back burner and prepare for the last leg of his journey. That's where we are right now. Being able to get back in the office or go to the grocery store without a mask on, it may be providing some temporary relief or give you a false sense of security. And that doesn't mean you aren't physically safe. I'm talking about the emotional damage that's been done and making sure that you're taking the time to heal your soul, to trust your own ability to navigate whatever life throws at you in the future. Like every time we go through things like that, we look back on there, you go like, you know what, if I can do that, if I can survive this, if I can come out a stronger person after this, if you feel confident, like you can do anything. And this is where we move into Act 3 for our hero. This is a stage in the hero's journey that represents kind of the reverse echo of the call to adventure, right? And this is where the heroes had to like cross the threshold. Now he must return back into his ordinary world or back home, and with his reward, whatever his reward is. But this time, it's not an anticipation of danger. That's being replaced with the feeling of acclaim, perhaps vindication, absolution, maybe even exoneration of some kind. And I think I want to share with you also a line in one of my favorite Daughtry songs. The song is called Coming Home. If you've not listened to it, it's a beautiful song. And there's a line in there that says, going to the place where love and feeling good don't ever cost a thing. It's the knowing that true love has never been something that you have to earn. It's 100% your birthright. The only thing you have to do is claim it. Just say, thank you. Thank you. My favorite affirmation that I've repeated a million times over the past few months, and I just open my arms as wide as I can get them. So I have everybody do that with me right now. Just open your arms straight out wide, just like you can't get enough love in them. And I'm going to have you repeat after me. What I say is, I open myself fully to give and receive deeper love. Let's do that together. I open myself fully to give and receive deeper love. I'm not just talking about romantic love. The hero now feels that fear cannot live and knows that fear cannot live where love is present. I open myself fully to give and receive deeper love. And some of you might be really good at giving, but kind of suck at receivership. So I want you to really take a pulse on that for yourself. How much are you willing to receive? But the hero's journey isn't over yet, not quite. He still may need one last push into the ordinary world. So the moment before the hero finally commits to the last stage of his journey may be a moment in which he must choose to either to determine between his own personal objective and that of a higher cause. And this is where he moves into number 11, his resurrection. This is the climax in which the hero must have his final and most dangerous encounter with death. The final battle that represents something that is far greater than the hero's own existence. And that the outcome would have far-reaching consequences in his ordinary world and the lives of those that he left behind. So if he fails, either others are going to suffer, and there's not only places where the only places where his weight is upon his shoulders. When you think about like in a movie, this is where it grips the audience, where that they feel like they're part of the conflict and they share the hero's hopes and trepidation. And ultimately the hero will succeed. We know that in every hero's journey. He'll destroy his enemy and emerge from battle cleansed and reborn in some way. It is impossible for us to experience a personal transformation without it impacting everyone whose lives we touch. How we come to the other side of this dramatically impacts not just us, but the energy that we emit into the entire planet. As the hero of your own journey, we increase our interpersonal sensitivity. We pay attention to how our words and behavior influences people around us. We become kinder with our words. Without the judgment of others we don't agree with, we let go of that judgment so that we don't carry that around. Judge not lest we be judged, right? We forgive ourselves. We forgive ourselves for not knowing what to do. We forgive ourselves for doing the wrong thing. We forgive ourselves for judging others who don't agree with us. But mostly, we forgive ourselves for not having every answer, and we learn to assume positive intent. We have to assume here that everyone, whether we think they're wrong or not, is doing the best they can with the information they have. And this is where the hero will return with the elixir back to his ordinary world. So it's a final stage of the hero's journey where he returns home a changed man. He will have grown as a person, learned lots of new stuff. He will have faced terrible dangers and even death, but now looks forward to the start of a new life. His return may bring fresh hope to those he left behind, a direct solution to their problems, or perhaps even a new perspective for everyone else to consider. The final reward that he obtains may be literal or metaphoric. It could be a cause for celebration, self-realization, the end of strife. But whatever it is, it represents three things: change, success, and proof of his journey. The return home also signals the need for resolution for the story's other key players, right? Have you ever seen a movie where they introduce all these other characters, and at the end of the movie, they resolve everything for the hero, but you're like, what about that other guy? Like, what happened to him? And you want to know all that information. It's impossible for the hero's journey not to impact that. So the return home signals that for us. The hero's doubters will be ostracized, his enemies punished, his allies rewarded. But ultimately, the hero will return to where he started, but things will clearly not be the same. In closing, I want to share with you, Benjamin Franklin once stated that the Declaration of Independence just gives you the right to pursue happiness. It doesn't promise you happiness. You still have to go out and get it yourself. Thank you so much for letting me spend my morning with you. I love you all. I miss you so much. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you so much, Cyndi. That was fabulous.
So we're going to go into a time of meditation and take in the words of what Cyndi has brought forward for us in all the ways that we feel it. And we'll sing the song, There Is Only Love. This moment in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and I see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. Join us again. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. Now taking these words, there's only love, into our hearts. Just breathing softly, deep inside into the holiest of holies. That holy place inside that says, I love you. I'm with you. I'll never leave you. I care about you and your happiness. And I know that within you is the hero that guides you to the next evolution of your beautiful unfolding as a divine human. So allowing yourself now to keep breathing and going deeper as you breathe into that place where your hero lives. I invite you to sit with your higher self that sees you as only divine, always perfect, a deep presence. And as you sit with your hero, you may take that hand, take the hand that's reached out to you. And as we go into the silence, just think about what you're letting go of and how you're emerging. What have you learned in this time so that you can come out more fully evolved, more fully loving, more fully yourself, authentic, and perfectly you. As you go into the silence, remember, remember, remember. And slowly coming back now. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. So now it is time for the blessings of the tithes and offerings. If you could please take out your offering today, remembering that as you give, so you receive, so I give. The more I give, the more I receive. Just holding your tithes in your hands. This community is really, really blessed by everything that you bring, all your talents and your tithes. So let's hold our tithes in our hands and say the blessings of the tithes and offerings. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies everything that I have, all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I am. It blesses everything. Amen. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I am. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Also, please remember that you can give online.
Yeah.
We have many ways of giving online. For folks on Zoom, go to that donate button that you might see online. We have a text that you can text to. We have all kinds of ways now. We have Venmo. We have, I don't know if we have that hooked up, but there's many ways, so.
And you can look them up on the.
I will do this,
website.
yes, why not? Thank you so much for these tithes and offerings. Thank you, God. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, universe, for this community and these tithes and offerings that will go back into this community and then the community that this community touches to bring positive energy to the world. And so it is, and so it will be. Amen.
Amen. And
So I have announcements.
announcements.
So we get equipped here. How's everybody doing? Is everybody enjoying the service? It's really great to see everybody. Hopefully, how are the Zoom land people doing? Are we able to communicate with Zoom land?
They hear you.
Can we hear them? No? Okay. Well, you can hear me. Okay. So I'm gonna do some announcements. Let's see what we have here. A couple of announcements about fun things to do as a community. We have starting 2021 concert series, fun for families and friends of all ages, free Sundays at Patton Park, Route 1A in Hamilton, if you're familiar. Now tonight, Ken Clark, organ trio, if you're familiar with Ken Clark from the old Unity days, but also with Ken, the trio is Steve Chagral, who's our drummer, Chagris, Chagaris on drums. So a great opportunity for Unity community to come together this week. Also, there's going to be a road trip this Thursday, July 15th, to Club Sandwich to see some guy named Brian Dozer. I don't know, but I guess you guys know him. He will be at Club Sandwich. I love that. And I love that John Davidson owns it. I love John Davidson.
Yeah, if you don't remember John Davidson, the second you see this man, you'll go, oh, I remember
yeah,
him.
he still has the feathered
He hosted
hair.
Hollywood Squares.
Yeah.
He still does, yeah.
Yeah, no, you'll know who he used to the game show, I think. So there's going to be some commuting together, community commuting for that July 15th. Talk to Sherry. Talk to Sherry. She'll hook you up. What time is that going to be?
It's a 7 o'clock show.
I can ask you because you're going to be there. 7 o'clock show. You're going to be on.
So hopefully, if Keith's feeling well, he's going to be up there.
Is it going to be an opening act?
No, but I will have some special guests. So
Ooh.
yeah,
very exciting.
I mean, I'm going to share the stage a little bit.
Oh, awesome. So go see Brian. Okay, and then a couple of more business-like things. Mission and Vision conferences with Martha Creek. It's time we revise our mission and vision to align with a new directions in consciousness. So a new mission and vision for Unity on the River will be discussed during the Mission and Vision conferences with Martha Creek on July 18th and July 25th from 4 to 6. It's going to be on Zoom. The link is on the website, unityontheriver.org. Also, rebuilding committees. The rebuilding committees have been formed and will each take on a separate area of rebuilding for Unity on the River. They are the Mission and Vision Committee, the Property Search Committee, the Minister Search Committee, the BOT Nominating Committee. Huh? Okay, I think, are they all set for the most part? Bylaws Committee, are you still looking for folks? Okay. Okay, all emails have been received, so they're now going to be reaching out to us, right? The person in charge of each committee will be reaching out to us, so stay tuned for that if you've signed up. If you are an active Unity on the River member and interested in joining, people still can join, correct? Can people still join? Okay, always, right? Okay, you can still join.
It's not a closed club.
Go to an email is board1515@unityontheriver.org. So, and also, as I mentioned, to donate, just text GIVE, G-I-V-E, to 833-706-4337. That's all I have. Thank you.
Also want to say that next week, Steve Chigueras will be here in person drumming, as well as Lynn Taylor will be our featured singer. So join us for that.
We're going to make Steve set up his drums out in the hall over there.
And Amy will
have
be
to work his way
delivering
in.
our beautiful message. So Amy Jocelyn will be with us next week.
So yeah, if anyone wants to go up on Thursday night, it's a club built by John Davidson in a big old barn on his property. So that man was everywhere in the 70s. You couldn't miss him. It's in Sandwich, New Hampshire. That's why they call it Club Sandwich. So if you just look for johndavidson.com, it's the Wednesday, Thursday series. It's right on his website. But it's a hall, but 7 o'clock. Oh, tonight is 5. If you don't remember Kenny as our music director, he was in between Curtis and Maura, and a little bit of other people in between. But Kenny was our music minister for 10 years almost. Yeah, for a while. Great Hammond organ B3 player, you know, the kind with the twirly rotary thing, and it's fun. And he sings. It's not just organ music. It's get up and dance music for a lot of it. So. All right, here we go. A little bit of Ziggy Marley for you. This is my reggae joke for today. You may or may not get this, but what's the difference between Bob Marley and his son Ziggy Marley? 30 beats per minute. If it's Bob Marley, it's like this. But if it's Ziggy Marley, it's like this. Got to be true to myself. Got to be true to myself. Life has come a long way since yesterday. I say it's not the same old thing over again. I say just do what you feel and don't fool yourself. I say, 'cause I can't make you happy unless I am. And I say I've got to be true to myself. Got to be true to myself. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Got to be true to myself. Got to be true to myself. Day in, day out, I've asked many questions, and I say only to find the truth never changes. say. If you don't deal with it, it keeps killing you little by little. And I say, call me selfish if you will, my life alone I can't live. And I say that I've got to be true to myself. Got to be true to myself. Let me hear you singing. Got to be true to myself. Got to be true to myself. Reached a point in life, hey, no longer can I be this way. Don't come crying to me, I have shed too many tears of my own. I'm moving on, yes, I'm moving on. Hey, I'm finally free, and I got to say, got to be true to myself. Got to be true to myself. I say I got to be true to myself. Got to be true to myself. Everybody singing, got to be true to myself. Got to be true to myself. Yeah, 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 yeah. Got to be true to myself. Got to be true to myself. To be true to myself. Let me hear you. Got to be true to myself. Got to be true to myself. Very nice. Got to be true to myself.
And that's the truth. Yeah. True to myself. Thank you, Brian. We're going to stand and join
We're going to
hands.
stand and join
I won't
hands.
stand for this.
And we're going to sing, Let There Be Peace on Earth. The light of God surrounds us.
We are the light of God.
The love of God enfolds us.
We are the love of God. The
Power of God protects us.
We are the power of God.
The
Presence of God
watches
over us.
We are the presence of God.
Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And we are richly blessed.
Just so you know, Amy Johnson is not the guest next week. Just stay tuned and we'll figure out who that is. Thanks, everyone. See you next week. Good to your waiters and waitresses. Kane's the only one that hasn't broken lately. I knew it would.